Welcome to Larry's Library. This week we're taking a look at The Incredible Hulk Omnibus by Peter David, Volume 2. If you haven't seen my review of Volume 1, I will link it up above because I have reviewed the first two of the classic Incredible Hulk as well. This one has an MSRP of $125, but as I always say, come on, don't be a chump, don't pay that. This book is still in print. I believe it's on its second or third printing now, and you can still get it at my preferred vendor, InStockTrades.com. And right now, let me look at my notes, they have it for $77.50. And that is quite a good deal, because this is a kind of a big one. It's 1,048 pages. So, this, as I said, this is Volume 2 of the Peter David Hulk, the legendary run by the celebrated Hulk writer. Some say the greatest Hulk writer that ever was. I'm not sure yet. I am reading this material for the first time. I've heard about it for years and years. Of course, this is, as I said, it's a legendary run. Everybody praises it that's read it. And so we'll see. I mean, I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far. Spoiler, not so much of a spoiler, but yeah, I am liking it a lot. Now, is he the ultimate Hulk writer? Maybe. We'll see when I get through all 5 volumes. And really, I should say 6 volumes, because the numbered Incredible Hulk by Peter David Omnis go 1 through 5. But then you have the Maestro Omnibus by Peter David. And for me, that really is Volume 6. And I'm not sure why they didn't name it thusly, but that's what I have bought all 5 of the numbered ones. I've yet to get Maestro. It's on my list, so hopefully that thing stays in print long enough for me to get it from IST, In Stock Trades. I hope that. So we'll see. Fingers crossed on that one. All of these, of course, are written by Peter David. The art is primarily, mostly, I say, by the wonderful Dale Keown. And I think this might have been his first published work. Certainly his first Incredible Hulk work. And maybe his first comic work at all. I'm not sure about that. I did not really look into that. But it is Dale Keown, and I have always loved Dale Keown's covers. I haven't seen a lot of interiors by him. My first exposure to Dale Keown's art probably was in Top Cow's Darkness series. I think it might have been the second Darkness series, but anyway, he did the art in that, and I really enjoyed the hell out of that. It was great. So yeah, like I said, he does almost all of the art in here, the vast majority of it. This collects about 35 or so issues in total, and Dale Keown's art is throughout 26 of those 35-ish issues that are reprinted in here. So yeah, that he does the bulk of it, and it's a good thing, because I got to tell you, when you have a replacement artist come in, you really miss the Dale Keown art. So that's kind of a pet peeve of mine about comic book runs. It's always a bad thing when you're going along and you're loving the creative team, especially the art, and then bam, they have a fill-in artist that is radically different or just subpar on, compared to what you were used to with the primary artist. And it is always a letdown, and sometimes it just pulls you right out of the story. It certainly does me. Let me look at my notes here. This one collects Incredible Hulk, the original series, 369 through 400, and then the annuals 16 through 18, and an issue of X Factor, the 86 X Factor series, number 76, a little crossover there. And some material from the Marvel Holiday Special number 2 is in here also. So this material is from 1990 to 1992. So this is the very beginning of the, some say, dreaded 90s era of comic books. Certainly not my favorite era of comics at all. I largely skipped out on that era, but there are some good stuff in there. You just have to look for it. And so far, I'm going to count this as one of the gems from the 90s. Now, like I did with the last one, I did take notes on my phone as I read this. I kept it right there, so as I was reading sections from this book, I would pull up and make notes as I went so I could reference it here. Because, when you're reading something this large, and especially as you get older, trust me, it'll happen to you if it hasn't yet. You can't remember the fine details like you used to, not without a little help. So I have my notes here. And the first thing I noted was the beautiful art by Dale Keown. of course. One thing I did note here in the very beginning, the first few issues that Dale Keown penciled for this Hulk run, he was inked by Bob McLeod. Now, I like Bob McLeod a lot. I like his pencils and I like his inks. And I noted here that the pencils are very tight with clean inking by Bob McLeod. Very John Byrne-like in the beginning. So, yeah, that struck me as it had that John Byrne, Terry Austin, very clean and tight look that I love in comic book art. If you've seen many of my reviews, you know I am a John Byrne victim, a Byrne victim, as we are sometimes called, because John Byrne, while a fantastic artist, is not so nice a guy. I've been told. I haven't met him myself, but that's the lore. But this isn't about John Byrne. But I did want to point out that the beginning of Dale Keown's run, he was sort of, I don't know if he was consciously aping John Byrne, but it certainly had that look to it, and I loved it. One of the things that stuck out for me, at least in the first half of the book, is the Dark Hulk storyline. That one was a standout. Really liked that a lot. Very fun and memorable for sure. And I also have a note here that the Sam De La Rosa inks give Keown's pencils a much scratchier, almost a Bill Sienkiewicz look. And I will show an example of that here. So the big plot development that happens in this one is Doc Samson, the Hulk psychiatrist, Banner psychiatrist more specifically, he gets some help from the Ringmaster. Yeah, former villain, the Ringmaster, with his hypnosis powers. And they team up and they do this deal where they merge Bruce Banner and all of his Hulk personalities into one being. So what you get on the other side of this, after a lot of hypnotherapy between Doc Samson and the Ringmaster, you have Banner's intellect merged with the Green Hulk's big, powerful physical frame, and you also have the Gray Hulk's sort of savagery and his cunning and all of that, you know, that he used as a mob enforcer. You have that aspect, the Gray Hulk sort of personality there. And then you have the very savage, dumb Green Hulk's personality, a little bit of that. And they're all merged together in one being. And I don't know that there is at least at this point in the story, they don't have a name for this particular aspect of the Hulk, because it's really all of them blended together. But you finally see the Hulk as a fully realized being that really doesn't have many weaknesses. I mean, he's super smart. He's a scientist. He has all of the intellect and reasoning that Bruce Banner has. But he also has this unlimited well of strength powered from his anger in the Hulk. And it is the green, large behemoth Hulk, not the slightly smaller gray Hulk that we become accustomed to in the Joe Fixit personality. This is like I said, the fully realized sort of ultimate version of the Hulk. He's super smart, he's super strong, and he's pretty much unstoppable. I mean, he still has the weakness of gas. You can gas the Hulk, he breathes that in, and he'll go right out. So that's really the main weakness this Hulk has. And like I said, since I have never read this material before, I don't know how long the new Banner, Joe Fixit, Green Hulk merged being is going to stay that way. I mean, I know it doesn't carry through to today's Hulk, because you know I've read enough of Hulk from the last decade to know that that's not the Hulk that we continue to get. So I don't know how long this Hulk hangs on with all these aspects merged together, but it is quite interesting, and it's a fun ride for sure. And in this Omni, we also see the rise of the Pantheon. We get that story arc, this sort of secret organization that's been around for a long time, and they ask the Hulk to join with them, and they are some superpowered do-gooders mostly, I guess you might say. They're trying to correct some of the evils of the world as they see it, and they think that Banner and the new Hulk will be a good fit for them, so they reach out to him. He ends up joining with them, somewhat reluctantly at first. There's a lot of trust issues going on there, but that is a pretty wild storyline. And that starts in this omnibus. We also have a couple of issues here that cross over with the Infinity Gauntlet that was going on at the time. Like I said, very early 90s stuff here. And the crossover's handled really nice here. It's a pretty cool story arc, that in and of itself. The little 2 issues that tie in with that are in here. I got a couple pages from that I'll scan and show here. Yeah, and we get to see a lot of different inkers dealing with Dale Keown's pencils. And they all look really good. I've got in my notes here, you've got the work of, you got a lot, Joe Rubenstein does an issue or 2, and that's pretty good stuff. But it's not as good as Mark Farmer's inks. Mark Farmer probably inks the bulk of the Dale Keown penciled issues in this volume, and they're really good. Mark Farmer is just one of the greatest inkers ever. I don't remember where he, or if he made my top 10. I did that top 10 inker video so long ago. I'll have to check it. But if he's not in there, if I was to redo that video, he would certainly be in there now because, man, he is just tremendous. Really, really adds a lot to any pencils to get Mark Farmer on there. He's really good. Now, I really enjoyed the Bob McLeod, the first couple of arcs with Dale Keown. That was a fantastically, like I said, tight pencils there. Really like the inks on that as well. So yeah, I like this a lot. I'm really happy to have it, and I'm certainly going on to the next volume. I've already started reading volume 3. We'll see what I think of that as we get deeper into the 90s and the kind of craziness that happened during the 90s, the excess, what I call the excesses of the 90s. I'm hoping that I'll be able to hang on and it won't be too much of a turnoff for me. Someone that's not in love with that era of comic books, for sure. But I am in love with Peter David's scripting and his imaginative plots, and I really like what he's doing with the Hulk here. He's given the Hulk more depth than really I think any writer ever has, certainly to this point in my knowledge. He's really doing something great with it. Peter David is absolutely one of the greatest living writers we have. I think I could say that about comic books. He is one of the greatest. And I am really happy to finally get into this legendary run. And I plan to do reviews of the other Omnis as I keep going forward in this. All in all, I think I would give this one a 9 out of 10. Now, I knock a point off because of, well, my pet peeve, the inconsistent art. You got Dale Keown for 26 of the 35 issues. If this had been all Dale Keown, this thing probably would have got a 10 out of 10. And I know some people say, well, you're just hung up on the art. Well, it's a comic book. Comic book, for me, is a medium of artists. Yes, the writing is important, but personally, I can deal with a little bit of substandard writing a lot easier than I can substandard art in a comic book. I know a lot of people are just the other way around. So, your mileage may vary, as they say. But this is my opinion on it, and for me, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a solid read. It's a lot of fun, and it's filled with a lot of fantastic art and a plot that just pulls you straight through. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. I say get it. If you're on the fence, it is still available. Pick it up. And I will see you next time. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Give me a thumbs up. That helps the channel. And with the mysterious YouTube algorithm you hear about, all of that helps for sure. And I will see you next time.